It's important to recognize when you need to bring management into an organization. A lot of founders feel like they have to make every dollar count, and they also like to keep their organizations really flat, and it causes them to hold back on bringing in people in management roles. But once you've got more than 5 or 6 people doing approximately the same job, you're really going to feel the pull of needing to coordinate that effort. I generally talk to my managers and say, if there are 8 engineers in a room that are all bright and creative and writing great software, without a management team, only about half of that work is really going in the direction the business needs it to. It's not that anybody fails to understand their role, it's just that that creative energy needs to be steered a little bit, and great management can easily pay for its own salary. Management's a hard thing to get right, and a lot of companies feel like they can take shortcuts around it. And there are certainly plenty of articles out there and plenty of companies trying new versions of management. You see culture documents floating around for people who have done things totally different, and it's often very appealing. My advice is to be careful. A lot of those new ideas around management have been tried lots of times, and the thing you don't hear about is what they do to massively increase turnover, to impair the ability of your team to develop and grow. I think the smart thing to do, especially if you're a first-time founder, is find a mentor who really knows how to manage organizations well, and don't try and reinvent the wheel on this. People management's a hard thing. You've got enough hard things to deal with in a startup context. Focus on those, manage your people in a traditional but well understood way. When an organization's really small, it's really easy to keep everyone aligned. In fact, if you talk to people at an organization with less than 10 people, they don't even recognize why that could be a problem. You're all talking to each other constantly. You all have a shared idea of what kind of company you're building. As you grow, it often surprises leaders how much that diverges, how many people have different ideas about what your company is trying to accomplish, and how much investment, especially the leadership team, needs to put into getting everybody back aligned and back on track. You're going to have to talk about your vision a lot, you're going to have to set really clear goals, and every part of your compensation and management structure should be focused on how do we make sure people are really aligned around the stuff we're trying to accomplish, and that we all have a shared understanding of what that is. Young companies, when they're just building up, often feel like clearly defined roles don't work, that's over rigid and over stodgy for the kind of organization they're building. But what I find is that those companies have to negotiate with every employee constantly about where their role starts and stops, how it is reflected in their title and their compensation. I think a little bit of upfront investment, either writing it yourself or talking to other companies to see how they do it, to say, this is what we think a junior engineer does, this is what we think a product manager does, can pay huge dividends in terms of how you recruit, how you negotiate compensation, and how you manage those team members once they're in.